Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm Wayne. Welcome to Wednesdays with Wayne, brought to you by the Real Estate Business School, where you get your license and learn to use it. This is the learn to use it part. Your license guarantees you nothing. It's simply the entry fee you pay to get into real estate. To be successful, it requires three types of education. It requires a technical education that you'll need to pass the state licensing exam. But the problem with that is I've been on hundreds of listing presentations and no one's ever asked me the difference between accretion and erosion. So why do I need to know that? I've never had anyone look at me and say, okay, Wayne, tell you what, you seem like a decent fellow and we're thinking about hiring you to represent us. But first tell us, how many cubic yards of concrete are in our driveway? How many square feet are in an acre? So the marketplace doesn't care about your exam score. Your banker typically doesn't care about your report card. So we need to be careful and choose wisely about what information we learn. We do need a technical information. It's imperative to have one because most of the lawsuits and complaints to the Real Estate Commission come from contract disputes. This is a sign that some realtors lack the technical education necessary to fill out the forms properly. So I'm not discounting it. I'm saying that it's important. I'm not saying it's not important. It is. What I am saying is there's more to it than that. And so when I go on a listing presentation, my sellers want to know, can you market the property for us? Can you sell it for top dollar? Can you negotiate best price and terms for us? So what I'm hearing, if you listen, the marketplace is always talking to you. It's always talking to you. The marketplace talks to all of us. We just need to listen. So what I hear the marketplace saying is, I don't really care about your technical education. If you want to represent me, I'm going to expect you to have a business education. You need to understand marketing, sales, negotiations, as well as how to fill out the forms. Of course, you should fill out the forms. That's like a given. You should know how to do that. You can't take credit for knowing how to fill out the forms. or as one of my favorite comedians, Chris Rock, would say, you can't take credit for stuff you're supposed to do. I take care of my kid. You're supposed to take care of your kids. It's just one guy says, I ain't never been to jail. It's just, you ain't supposed to go to jail. You can't take credit for stuff you're supposed to do. So you're supposed to be able to fill out the forms. You can't take credit for that. But you need to also know how to you have to have a business education. Real estate's a business. If you don't treat it like a business and run like a business, you're out of business. And this is why 80-90% of the people who get into the business leave the business, because they don't treat it like a business. So that's why we're called the Real Estate Business School. Because we teach the fundamentals of business. It's not about listing and selling houses. It's about designing your life and then getting the business to give you that life. Most realtors give their lives to the business. It's a huge mistake. A business has three purposes. One is to give you your life. So the first thing we ask you to do is sit down and design your life. Because if you don't design your life, someone else will be happy to do it for you. In fact, for some of you, they already have. What should I do today? If you design your own life, you don't have to ask anybody that question. So that's what we recommend. Design your life. What do you want? Why do you want it? How will you know when you have it? There's a day you'll start selling real estate. There's a day you'll stop. When you stop, what will you have? How do you produce income or generate income or have income, get income without working? So this is an old industrial age idea that we're doing our best to get people to think new. We have this agrarian industrial age education, and we're trying to solve digital age problems with it. That's why the middle class is disappearing. The education system is outdated. It's virtually obsolete, and it takes great glee in grading us. If I were to grade it, I'd give it an F. We're lagging the world in science, technology, engineering, math, the most important skills. So, yeah. So to me, when you become an adult, you still have a report card. It's called your balance sheet. So you have a profit and loss or a P&L, tells you what you did. You have a balance sheet, tells you what you have. They have a cash flow statement, tells you where your money went. If you look at most people's balance sheet and you look at their cash flow statement, you can tell where the money went. Either money went to a lender or the government or a landlord. Very few keep it. They make it, but they don't keep it. It blows right out the balance sheet side. So you have to get up in the morning and ask yourself this question: who has my money? And your marketing should go attract those people, so you can give them, they will give you your money, and you give them something of value in exchange. So this is the purpose of a business: give you your life, solve a problem, add value. The more value you add, the more money you make. It's not about making money. Money is simply a byproduct. It tells you how valuable you are, or how valuable the marketplace perceives you. If you add value, you don't have to worry about money. So don't focus on making money. It's ridiculous. Just add value. What do people want? What do your customers want? What's your product? What business are you in? What's your message? Who's your competition? How do you attract them? So the three purposes of a business: give you your life, solve a problem, add value. The bigger the problem, the bigger the check. That's why CEOs make more money than secretaries. They solve bigger problems. Not discounting, I'm not disparaging, I'm not making less than secretaries. I have great admin staff, fabulous admin staff. Part of my ability to get more things done in less time is because I have great staff, have great support, I have those most incredible people working with me. Incredible people. Because no one succeeds alone. And I know I'm only as good as they are. And they're really, really good. So a CEO's job is to solve problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger the check. That's why the marketplace, they just command more in the marketplace. Money is not something you earn, it's something you demand. I don't earn money, I demand it. I demand to be paid. I demand it. There's some expectation, a demand of myself. But I know that I can't just go to the marketplace and cram a product down their throat. It's got to be something that adds value. So this is why most people blow out of real estate. We just don't have the business education that the public education system doesn't give us. It doesn't supply it. They don't have it. They don't know much about money themselves. Most teachers struggle financially. It's shameful. So the point is, there are several different types, 3 different types of education that we need in order to achieve the success we want. And to me, it's a technical education. You got to have it. And then you have to have a business education. And as you've seen by our business blueprint, a business has 6 components. And we teach the definition and goal of each. And our strength is teaching people how to make the transition, how to unlearn or undo all the damage that the public education system did, because it teaches people to become employees, not employers. And it tells us how to get a good job, not how to build a good business, and teach us to climb the corporate ladder. We teach people how to build their own. So there's a huge break between us and public education. And as I've been in this for 35 years now, and I get to see the damage the public education system has done, especially when it comes to a test. You want to see some adults freak out? Give them a test. It's a fear-based system that rewards people who memorize information. And all I'm saying is, talking isn't teaching, listening isn't learning, and the memorization of the right answers that you've already been given is no indication of a person's intelligence or ability. You were born a genius and meant to be an incredible success till you went to school and they de-geniused you. So, we need a technical education, we need a business education, and lastly, in my opinion, we also need a financial education. And so if you're in real estate, the beauty of it is insider trading is legal. Look, you're never going to get rich 3% at a time. 3% is like a tip. You give your wait staff, what, 15, 20, and you're working for 3? What are you thinking? So is there a difference between 3 and 20? Yeppers. So 20% your standard IRR in a decent property. If you watched last week, you saw how I did this valuation. What if you bought a pickup, a new vehicle? I use truck, but it doesn't matter what mode of transport it is. If you spend 50 on a truck, or you put, say nothing down and your payment was $800 a month, you held it for 5 years, I show how much money you lose. If you took the same exact scenario, and bought a little house instead, which you can do all day long, it shows the benefit. It's merely a shift in thinking. Instead of making money to consume, you create money. Money is created with a thought. Money is created. Wealth is built over time. What we've been taught is to exchange labor for money. So people go to these jobs they hate for money. Like, they don't want I want a job. That's one of the biggest lies going is, I want a job. No, you don't. They don't want a job. They want money. The only way they figure out how to get it is get a job. Because that's what we've been told. Are you smart? Yes, I made A's. Really? Can I see your balance sheet? Oh, no, that's private information. So your balance sheet tells you what you have. That's the adult version of a report card. And what you have on there, for a lot of people, or if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or watched anything Robert Kiyosaki related, and then you also, so I just want to give credit to one of my mentors that taught me this. This is not my information. I got it from someone else. And I think we have a responsibility to acknowledge the source of our data. So if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Cash Flow Quadrant, please go read it. But Robert's very clear in there. Assets feed us by putting money in our pocket. Liabilities eat us by taking it out. So the problem is, if you get up in the morning and ask yourself, who has my money? And you look at your balance sheet, you can see who has it. That's your lender, because you bought all those liabilities you thought were assets, because you've been lied to again. Repeatedly. And it's not going to stop today. Just because you're aware of it doesn't mean it ends. So this is the beauty of real estate. The whole economy in America is real estate driven, real estate related. It's the driver, it's the engine of the economy in America. Look at all the ancillary services and products that come when you buy or build or rent a piece of property. Look at all the stuff. You got lumber, the nails, the cement, the wire, the copper, the insulation, the HVACs, the roof, the tar, the oil products, the plastic products, the metal products, the wood products, the flooring, the appliances. The list goes on and on and on. And this ripple effect through the economy is incredible. So every time somebody buys, leases, rents, or sells something, some realtor with a license somewhere is getting paid. And that process is happening over and over and over again. So that's why I love real estate. I love being in it. I love talking about it. I love buying it. I love selling it even more. See this house right here? We just sold it. I'm in 5 years ago. I'm out this week. So off we are to the next one. And then we're going to build one, and we're developing some stuff and just having a great time, because real estate is the best business in the world. It's fairly easy to get into, low barrier to entry. It's not like other professions, like doctors or lawyers or accountants, where you have to, like a doctor, you got to go to school forever. How old are you? 50? You just now practicing? Yeah, I just got out of school. Dude, TikTok. So that's what I'm saying. Real estate. Insider trading is legal. You're never going to get rich 3% at a time, and you'll never have Martha Stewart's problem. So, real estate business school, where you get your license and learn to use it. You can get a license anywhere. All the courses are the same. The Real Estate Commission gives us all an outline, all the schools an outline. They'll go, here's your outline. When you get your course done, send it back. If it meets the outline, they approve it. They're all the same. What matters is Where you go to school, who teaches you, and what you learn does matter, because if they don't teach you how to use your license, what good is it? I got a license. Good. What are you going to do now? How are you going to get that phone to ring? You can't go home and sit down and go, okay, I got my license. I'm ready. Someone call me. No, it's not the way. Unfortunately, I wish it worked that way. Y'all call me and buy something. It doesn't work that way. Everybody knows that. So how do we find people who are thinking about buying or selling a property today? And what do we say to them when we find them? These are the two most important skills to have in real estate: generating a lead and communicating with people. You can't go around, you want to list, you want to list, you want to... No, I don't want to list. They want to be represented by a professional who'll get them taught. That's the difference. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I love the business, and that's why it's the best. But I'm very clear on this subject. You have to have a technical, a business, and a financial education. And if you want to, it's a difference between money and wealth. And you can keep working for money. And the problem is the poor and the middle class keep working for money. Or you can choose to be rich, because it's a choice. If you choose to be rich, then you take advantage of the insider trading aspect of real estate. So I say that jokingly. It's tongue-in-cheek, and I'm being facetious. I should probably watch what I say, because I just got a course approval yesterday from the Real Estate Commission, and I got a message back from one of them that says, yeah, we had to send Wayne's course over to the lawyers to make sure what he said was in compliance. He wasn't breaking the law. I'm like, what? So all I did was I put up a property for lease, for sale while it was under lease. And I had it for sale and decided to lease it and buy it from the owner. And there was some question about whether I had the right to do that or not. And I was like, yeah, I can buy the house from my client. If I have a listing and it won't sell and the client says, why don't you buy it? Can I buy it? Of course. Anyway, they sent it to the legal department. They finally cleared the class. And now they can say it publicly. It's okay to buy your own listings. So I would never, ever do anything illegal in real estate, and I would, period. Especially not in real estate. And even if I did, I wouldn't brag about it. So do not break the law. Okay? Just to be clear, pay your taxes. Please pay your taxes. I mean, the last thing you want to do is be dancing for your cellmate. How am I doing? Not good, boy. Dance. No. There are too many ways to make money legitimately, legally, actually quite easily, without having to lie or cheat or steal. And I know I'm talking to the choir, because liars and thieves don't usually watch my program. There's nothing in it for them. I have nothing to teach them. So thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. I'll do my best to make sure it's well spent. Excuse me. I've been working out a lot, and my lungs are starting to clear up. Thank goodness. So today, that's my rant about real estate. So if you want to know how to get a license and be successful, just email us or call us. info@buildmyrebusiness.com. We'll walk you through the process. Your license guarantees you nothing. Nothing. It's merely entry fee. You got to have a business education. You've got to have a financial education. By financial, I mean how to attach value to the asset. And I believe that most people don't invest. Look, I just think that when I watch the markets, what drives the stock market or the markets up? Confidence and greed, right? And what drives them down? Fear and doubt. Fear of loss, doubt. Uncertainty. Uncertainty, the markets hate uncertainty. It's not the news. It's good news or bad, it doesn't matter. What matters is when you get it. And the market doesn't like uncertainty. They don't want the facts. It's bad, fine. Short the stock. If it's good, fine. Go long. Right? So when people make decisions, it's either out of opportunity for gain or fear of loss. It's one of the two. And most people make decisions throughout the day based on one of those two things. Opportunity for gain or fear of loss. They either do something or don't do something for one of those reasons. Don't invest, you'll lose your money. What? It's a duplex. What do you got to lose? I could lose it all. If you lose it all in the duplex, you've already lost. Come on. I don't know where y'all are from, who's watching this, but I'm just telling you, in Texas, we have an old saying, if you're going to go broke, take the bank with you. Look, I went broke in the mid-'80s. I don't recommend it, but I'm telling you, I learned so much. It was very educational. So all I'm suggesting, ladies and gentlemen, is you get in the game at whether the level is comfortable, but buy something. If you lose everything, then you'll learn. So you got to undo all this thinking the school system put in there, that mistakes are bad, mistakes are to be punished, mistakes are wrong. No, mistakes are natural. Mistakes are a gift from heaven. It's like, I have something to teach you today. Boom. And you get hammered, and then you go out and go, okay, good. Now, you can blame someone else, or you can justify it or write it off, or do all that psychobabblic bull nonsense you do in your head. But if you just go home and look in the mirror, you'll see the source of your problems. Just ask yourself, okay, I really blew that. I probably couldn't have messed that up any more than I just did. But what did I learn today? And what did I learn today that's going to make me a better decision tomorrow faster? And I don't know what you want to do, but what I want to do is I want to make a better decision faster tomorrow based on what I learned today. If I make a mistake, great. But I don't want to make it again. Ever known people that make the same mistake over and over and over? You know what that is? That's just ego. The biggest obstacle to learning is ego. Like they come in my class every now and then. They sit on the front row, they fold their arms, and stick their chin up in there, and they go, you can't teach me anything. I go, with that attitude, you're probably correct, sir. So may I ask why you're here? Are you here to learn? No. Why are you here? Trek made me come. I said, well, not in this class. Choose someone else to hate. I got enough of those already. So we need a financial education. And the reason most people don't invest is they don't know how to attach value to the asset. They don't know how to attach value to the asset. So if you pay too much and borrow too much, there's nothing anyone can do for you. And there are a lot of those out there on the cusp. If you pay too much and you borrow too much. So what I'm suggesting, ladies and gentlemen, is when you're in real estate, you have access to this club called Multiple Listing Service. And what's in MLS is sales data. And when you have sales data, you can attach value to any property that's out there. This is the definition of fair market value. What a willing buyer will pay and what a willing seller will sell for, neither one being under duress. That's fair market value. I don't want to pay fair market value. I want to pay below fair market value. So I'm looking for something that's in duress. We buy distressed property. This was a distressed property. We bought it distressed. It was distressed. The owners were distressed. We bought it 5 years ago. Now we're blowing out of it. This is the 8th one we've done. We like to buy someone else's problems. So I'm doing my best to tell you something right now. A business has 3 purposes. Give you your life, solve a problem, add value. The same thing with real estate. Same thing with marketing. When I'm marketing, I'm looking for a problem to solve. When I'm in real estate investing, I'm looking for a problem to solve. The bigger the problem, the bigger the check. So I'm looking for a problem property with a problem seller. It's not my fault that they got in this house and messed it up. It's not my fault. Someone's going to buy it. Someone's going to make some money on it. Might as well be me. Well, if I don't have a financial education, know how to put those loans together, put that financing together, and to finish this thing, because it wasn't fit, and to do all that, it requires a technical, a business, and a financial education. That's all I'm saying. And so I'm just saying, I was not a good student. And unfortunately, I really regret not studying more and applying myself. My teachers warned me over and over and over, and I sent my parents a note every week if he would just apply himself. But I didn't listen. And I regret it. Because I think I could have gotten a lot further a lot earlier. But no, I had to take the long, hard road. So I really value education. And it was 1989 when I met Robert Kiyosaki. I went to a seminar. I'm like, I'm not going back to go. My wife comes home. We weren't married at the time. We were just madly in love and considering the opportunity. Nonetheless, she went to the seminar. I said, where are you going? She goes, I'm going to go to this seminar for the weekend. I go, what? You graduated already? She goes, no, you don't understand. I go do an event every year. ¿Por qué? Anyway, she went. And she came back. She said, I had a great weekend. I said, really? Tell me all about it. I was just winking to myself, oh, please. I'm riveted. So anyway, she tells me. And it sounded pretty cool. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So she says, you should go. I said, I should go. And she goes, yeah. I said, well, what's the name of this course? She goes, it's called Money and You. And I said, oh, okay. Money and You. She goes, yeah. So well, who can tell me anything about money? Arrogant, egotistical, cocky, obnoxious, broke. I'm the guy. And so she says, well, where is your money? And it stopped me in my tracks, I patted my pocket and it was a little light, So, okay, well, maybe I'll go. She goes, you don't have to go. I don't have to go? She goes, no, you don't have to go. I don't care if you go or not. The only saying is either you go or you go. I said, well, sounds like I'm going. So I went. Anyway, I met Robert Kiyosaki. And I tell you what stunned me is, I don't know if you've ever been interested in a subject and gone to a lecture and they talked you out of it. They lecture on and on and on until you wake up with drool all over your chin. Oh, God. So this is when it was just amazing to me because he was teaching using accelerated experiential learning. So he didn't talk to us. It was a series of games we play over and over and over. Not the same game, but all these different activities. And then you're encouraged to make mistakes in the class, right? So what I learned was it's cheaper to make the classes than make the mistakes in class than out in the real world. Because I made them out in the real world. I made a few and whoo! I've lost so much money out there learning via trial and error. But I made it back times X. So it's worth it. It's just if you can do it more efficiently in a faster, more elegant manner, like learn from someone else's. So the magical weekend ended with me falling in love with education. It woke up the part in me that really wants to learn, is eager to learn, like when I was a little child. And I remember I was really always curious when I was a kid. And I drove my mother crazy asking all these questions, I remember one time we were out in the front driveway and we were just, me and my mom walking in the front yard. And I look up and I go, how come the sky is blue? And I don't remember the answer, but I remember she said that she said something about, you ask a lot of questions. I'm like, yeah, because I did. And she was always good and encouraged me and taught me and told me, and it was great. But I think I pestered her to no end with all my questions. I've always been a curious person. And I went to school and they were like, no, just here, we'll teach you what you need to know. Okay. So it reignited my passion and my joy for learning. I've become a lifelong learner. So, the dead dog loser from Friendswood High School who barely got out has become an educator. This proves my theory. There is a God. So, you never know what path this life is going to take you on. And what I learned over the years is to let go of all my answers and all this knowingness and wisdom and knowledge that I had and just trust my intuition. And what I've learned is that my intuition is fairly high. And when I follow it, I just let all that stuff go and follow my intuition. How many of you have ignored your intuition and regretted it? Okay, thank you. So what I've learned is to trust it, and it's been a good friend. That and this little angel I got here. No, wait, don't go over there. Okay. Now, I know there's a part of you that knows what I'm talking about. I know there's a part of you that knows what I'm talking about. So that's what makes us all connected. So we have that bond. So thank you for listening. If you haven't considered real estate, consider it, because I'm going to see the best deals before they hit the market or shortly thereafter. I was looking at some this morning, and I get up about 4 or 5. By 5:30, 6, I mean, you got to get up before the sun. If the sun comes up and you're not up, you're late already. Anyway, I'm looking in my last one. There's got to be something in here somewhere. So it's nice to be able to go in there and with a few clicks of a mouse, you can find some nice properties. And then I have lenders that really like loaning money because that's how they get paid. So they're happy to give us loans. And I have contractors that really like fixing them up because they won't work. So you put this team together and run your numbers. If you don't know how to, run your numbers on your annual property operating data, your APOD form, just go look at one of the other videos. I went through one about 3 weeks ago, top to bottom. If you have any questions, just email me. About ROI, a deal you're in, a negotiation. I'm in 4 negotiations right now. They're fun. I'm getting pounded on. I'm pounding on people, going back and forth. And yeah, it's the best. So email me if you have any questions. info@buildmyrebusiness.com. Or just call me, 512-453-0900. Or for those of you that are out of town, 800-624-5440. Happy to take your calls. Happy to take your emails. Happy to reply to any problem. You can't give me a problem I can't solve. I'll tell you that right now. You can't bring me a problem I can't. You bring it to me, okay? I'll solve it for you. Please be brief and get to the point. Okay, watch that pre-ramble. All right, I have something I want to share with you today. Today is going to be brief. Dang. So much for brevity. I just burned a half an hour ranting. So thank you for your time and thank you for listening. I want to share an article with you that I got a lot of value from. So I've been talking about Buckminster Fuller. This is one of his. This is him. Picture of him in one of his books. Bucky has more accolades after his name than any American in history. Unfortunately, very few people have heard of him. And I've been studying his books and his articles and things he's written going on 3 decades now, and it's improved my life tremendously. I've often wondered when I was little, as a kid, I had these weird thoughts like, what am I doing here? I don't know if you ever had that thought, but you ever look around and you look at the people around you, you look at where you are, and you go, what am I doing here? Well, if you have, great. If you haven't, well, it's time. Anyway, I had those thoughts. And it wasn't until I was introduced to Bucky via Robert Kiyosaki, Money and You and all this. And I just thought it was amazingly courageous of this guy. After he broke a promise to his 5-year-old daughter and she died in his arms, he decided to commit suicide as he was about to swim out on the shores of Lake Michigan, about to swim out into the lake and drown himself. He thought, well, I've still got a wife and another child left behind, and maybe there is some purpose to me being here. So what he did was he committed himself to creating artifacts, designs, inventions that would raise the standard of living for all humans on planet Earth, not just to make himself or a few corporations rich. So he lived like that for over 50 years. He said, if I'm doing what the universe wants me to do, the universe will take care of me. So I'm like, whoa, that is gutsy. So he basically, really jumped off a cliff with no parachute, thinking the universe would support him, and it did. So he lived like that for 50 years. The Astrodome that was in Houston, Texas, until they tore it down and built a bigger, better stadium next to it, was one of his inventions. It's Geodesic Dome. And we look at a Geodesic Dome, it's the most efficient structure on planet Earth because you get the most amount of volume with the least amount of materials or land mass. There are over 300,000 domes on the Earth, but you don't see them because they're in the harshest places on Earth because they're the only things that will survive, the 2 poles. You go to the poles, you'll see domes. Some people build them for fun and recreation. A lot of kids' gyms are made out of geodesic domes. You see them in some of the schools sometimes. Yeah. So that's that. And then he had several inventions. houses, cars, all kinds of stuff. But he wrote this article that I'd like to read to you. So he says, you know, what if you do what you're supposed to be doing, the universe will take care of you. So I did this video on procession about 2 months ago. So if you look in archived videos, you'll see it. It's basically the same thing, and that's what Lynn and I did in 1989. It's when we quit working for money. I said, well, Bucky did it for his life. I'm going to do it for about a year. If it works, great, because I still didn't trust it. But same principle. If you do what you're doing, the universe will support you, take care of you. So we did, and I quit working for money in 1989. So the key is to build wealth, not work for money. The poor, the middle class, work for money. The rich don't work for money. Okay. Being wealthy, being rich is the choice. Your future is created moment by what you do in the present. So what are you doing right here, right now? What are you going to do today that's going to make tomorrow better? It's not about making money. It's about who you have to become. So who do you have to become? Because if you have what you needed, you have what you want. If you had what you needed, you'd have what you want. So what do you want? And then what do you need to do to go get it? And go do that. So I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to read this article to you if that's okay. I'm going to ask you this. I've noticed that a lot of people have never mastered the subjects of time and money. They're some people constantly running late. You know, I don't have, or they say, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. Hey, why don't you come over? I don't have time. Hey, I don't have time, I don't have time. They're constantly saying this to themselves. It's the most debilitating thing. And what you're hearing is the languaging of a person who's not mastered time yet. And then you'll hear people's thoughts, because I'm saying to you, thoughts are things and they become real. And you can tell by what people think. You can't look at them and see, because thoughts are invisible. But if you listen, they'll tell you what they're thinking. The thoughts become audible. So they say, I can't buy that, okay? It costs too much, or it's too expensive, or I can't afford it. This is the languaging of the poor. This is the languaging of someone who hasn't mastered money. So you have these two groups, time and money. You have these two groups that haven't mastered time and money. Two most valuable assets we have, other than health, time and money. And that's what our course is designed to teach. How to master time and money. Okay? So this is the article. It's on integrity that Bucky Fuller wrote. Excuse me. So please write this down. If you had all the time in the world, you could do what you wanted all day, every day. And you had all the money in the world, you could never spend it all. It was just so much money. Like, holy mac, I'm never going to get through this. I'm asking you to indulge me for just a minute, if you don't mind. If you had all the time and money in the world, what would you do with the rest of your life? Please write it down. Most of you already know. But just think about that. If you were free, Emancipation Proclamation didn't free anybody. They just changed ownership. It went from the slave owners to the corporations. Here, you can have them now. Okay, thank you. They work for you now. Oh, thank you. Oh, you got to pay them. I got to pay them? Yeah, you got to pay them. Oh, okay. If you had all the time and all the money, what would you do with the rest of your life? If you were free, totally free, a sovereign individual. Write it down, please. What would you do with the rest of your life? All your goals should support that. It's not about making money. It's about making money so you can buy your time back so you can go do that. Yeah? That's why I'm on this subject called money and wealth. Cash flow. We're taught to work, get a job, work hard for money. It's a dead dog losing proposition. Instead, if you create wealth or build wealth, you can stop working and go out and fulfill your life's purpose. Nor as Bucky said, this is the best. I mean, he said it. You weren't put here to earn a living. You don't have to earn the right to be here. Each of us arrived here with a gift, something valuable to offer our fellow human beings. But we're taught to sell our body, mind, and spirit for a paycheck. We're supposed to go get a job and earn a living. That's your life's purpose. So if you had all the time and all the money, and people, they go earn their living, but they don't have enough to really stop and be free and go fulfill their life's purpose. But if you did, if you had all the time, if you had time and money handled, excuse me, what would you do with the rest of your life? Please write it down. And then go do that. Okay, so I'm going to read this piece to you. I apologize. I know I shouldn't be reading to adults, but I've had to fire several instructors for reading to adults in the real estate class. I'm like, hey, come here. They know how to read. yeah, but no. You can't read to adults. They know how to read. but I said, you said but too many times. I went Trump on them. You fired. Oh, that felt good. You, get out of here. I go in there myself. Y'all done tired of being read to? Yeah. No more, please. Okay, look, let's do this. Pretend you're the for sale by owner. What do you say? Well, I don't know. Good. Let's start from there. This article is called On Integrity by Buckminster Fuller. Bucky was what it's called. I want you to think about this as individuals. An individual will say to me, what can I do? What can I do? I'm just a tiny little guy. And I say, what you can do, I'm repeating, this is from a live event he was doing. And I say, this is Bucky talking, and I say, what you can do, I'm repeating something I said to you earlier, that we are really in a final examination. I did get last night that we are a function in the universe. We're here for a local universe information gathering, local problem solving, and support of the integrity of an eternally regenerative universe. But integrity is the essence. In an invisible world, there are no visible aesthetics. In an invisible world, the only aesthetic is integrity. It's a great computer world we're going into. This is in the early 80s. So I simply say, I'm really confronting you with the way I lived through all that because I was a comprehensivist. I kept the records. That's the only reason I'm able to say all these things to you I am up to. I'm giving you a very faithful record of what's going on economically. So I simply say, what you can do personally is commit yourself to what is the truth. That's all. You have to remember that we didn't design the universe and we're not running the universe. I'm absolutely willing to give credit to I like what the Indians say, the Great Spirit. The word God tends to infer human beings form. So I say the Great Spirit so you realize that I don't mean it anthropomorphic when I say God. But if you operate with integrity, God wants to know right now whether human beings have the courage to go along with their own minds or do you have to go along with the crowd? Do you have to go evenly with the game or are you going to dare? If we really dare to go with our minds, we'll stay here. We'll go into an entirely new era in humanity. It will not be a matter of earning a living. You will be doing what you see needs to be done because you feel you'll want to do it. You want to qualify to be able to serve one another. There will be nothing you will not question at all about earning a living. At any rate, personally then, we've got 2 minutes left in this session. It comes back to each one of you. As the numbers multiply of individuals who are willing to commit themselves to integrity, whatever the truth may be, and really commit themselves to making all humanity a success. You have to ask yourself the question, are my reflexes so conditioned that I resent someone else enjoying themselves? Am I really willing to love my humanity, my fellows? If you do that, we will win. If you can do it, if it is spontaneously arousable within you to operate with integrity and really to go along with love and to love comprehensively, that's it. So if you haven't read anything by Bucky, maybe begin. It's not always an easy read. He's fairly technical. But I'll end with that, and I'll end the way I started. So thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. I hope you got something of benefit today. Just remember, please, no matter what anyone tells you, you were born a genius and meant to be incredible success. You know what to do. Just follow your own intuition. Let's go out and make it a better world. Thank you for your time. This has been Wednesdays with Wayne. I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care. Thanks for showing up. Bye.